Good morning on match day, everybody. This is Forever United TV, bringing you up-to-date news and information around Manchester United. The early part of match day is here. We're going to get through all of the news and other stuff before we start building up to the game later on. Obviously, that crunch game against Brentford. News coming out from Ten Hag after the press conference yesterday about his plan for Alvaro Fernandez. Now, we spoke about this the other day, but Ten Hag has been opening up about the plan and what he feels Manchester United have done in perfectly setting up the development of Alvaro Fernandez and getting him ready, and they may actually, giving off the biggest clue yet, that they may drop back in and buy Alvaro Fernandez back as soon as January. Injury updates as well around Manuel Agate, good news on that front as well, and everything else circulating. There's a bit of bad injury news as well, but you don't need to second guess who that might be and who that player might be about from Manchester United. But yeah, updates on everything. We'll look ahead to the game. We've got a poll going right now in the chat for you all to get involved in. Today's results, what you going with? United win, Brentford win, or that draw? I've got a feeling the draw might be a popular one today because it's hard to say where this game is going to go between United and Brentford. It's always been tight. It's always been a close game when played at Old Trafford. Complete opposite when it's been at Brentford, but this is a crunch one. It's a big one, and I don't think there's many United fans confident enough in our form. Obviously, Brentford's form away from home isn't great, and yes, putting them together kind of makes you a little bit uncertain. Let's just say that. But let's get into the news regarding Alvaro Fernandez first of all. As you all know, we did a video on this the other day about where Manchester United are actually at. The buyback clause that they've got, the sell-on clause, how much we have to pay for him. Ten Hag has opened up, and obviously the journalist, with their first chance yesterday in over 2 weeks to really get into Ten Hag and find out what's going on behind the scenes at Manchester United. They went into some extra detail afterwards about what's actually going on with certain players, plans looking ahead. If you feel, like Ten Hag said, confident that he's still going to be in a job for a long time, then obvious questions are going to come about regarding players possibly going in, possibly going out, and the January transfer window edging ever closer. Let's not forget, we're only 2 weeks away from November now, and start to look ahead to what could happen, and plans are starting to be put in motion for January. It is going to be a crunch January for Manchester United, floating close to that PSR sort of cut-off zone, and what Manchester United might have to do with their books financially. When you've got an opportunity like Alvaro Fernandez in a position which has plagued Manchester United, let's just say that it has been a scourge on Manchester United's starting lineup. That left-back position has been a bleeding nightmare. And Ten Hag knows this. He's constantly gone on about this. We've gone on about this. The inevitable unavailability of Luke Shaw. What's happening with Tyrell Malacia? Right now, as it stands, you've probably got a better chance of seeing Bleeding Fernandez playing in a United shirt than you have Luke Shaw. Because the news from the Muppeteers last night around Luke Shaw was that he is nowhere near ready yet. He's not even back training. He is still in the recovery process. So this absolute garbage that's been said or been leaked out by the club to try and sort of quash any rumours about Luke Shaw never being available, or this demic with this worst injury record, one of the worst injury records in Man United's history, let's say that, for the amount of time he's been at the football club, which is true and it is factual. They're trying to quash this. Well, some leaks and some reports coming out of Manchester United are saying that Luke Shaw isn't even back on grass yet. This is why we've not seen any pictures of him. We've seen pictures of Yoro, Malacia, seen pictures of obviously, as well, but no Luke Shaw. No Luke Shaw anywhere to be seen. So, when talking about this, obviously, it leads on to what Manchester United have got at their disposal when it comes to left-back situation. Now, Malacia we just spoke about there, but Fernandez, who we let go, and if you didn't watch the video the other day with the details of what Manchester United have got within this, we have a buyback clause from selling him this summer to Benfica, which can be triggered for, I think, around about 16 million quid. Sounds like a lot. We sold him for 8, rising up to about 10. So, effectively, and Ten Hag has said it is the perfect development plan for Alvaro Fernandez. If we wanted to bring him back, we could get him in January for a measly 16 million. When you counteract what we sold him for and what we're buying him back for, he's going to cost us 6 million. Now, Ten Hag saying that this plan is absolutely perfect. and this is the best development that he had. He went into saying we sent him on loan to Preston, we sent him on loan to Granada. He didn't get enough game time, apparently, Ten Hag said, and that's why they ended up bringing him back from Granada and then loaning him out with the option or triggered obligation, if he played a certain amount of games, to Benfica. Now, Benfica didn't play him a certain amount of games, but seen enough in Alvaro to trigger that option to buy him, and they did. They seen the talent there, and just so you know, if you again didn't see the video the other day, if any other club wants to buy Alvaro Fernandez from Benfica now, they paid €6 million for him from United. Their buyout clause in Alvaro's contract for any other club in Europe is just shy of 45 million, I think, somewhere around that mark. I may have got that wrong. I did the details the other day. I think it's round about the £45 million mark. When have United ever sold a player for 45 million? We had a player there that was worth it, clearly, and we sold him for 6. So this is the perfect development plan that Ten Hag was talking about. And he feels like this was exactly what was needed for Alvaro Fernandez. Send him out on loan, sell him, and then bring him back, buy him back. So really, he's a player there that we've desperately needed, that we didn't want to give a chance to because we wanted to rely on Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malacia. And we sold him, and now we need to buy him back, which is going to cost us around 6 or 7 million. Go make that make sense. Honestly, again, like nothing surprises me with Manchester United, but Ten Hag has bigged this up as a brilliant bit of business for Manchester United. I can see where he's going with it. I understand that compared to what everyone else says, and you don't know how a player is going to perform, and there's obviously that risk sort of assessment you've got to take, which is, do you chance him in the first team and then he just flops and all of a sudden you've got a player there that you can't sell and you're selling him for peanuts? Or do you send him out on loan like they did do, and then maybe someone buys him like they did do, and then he becomes this player, but you have still got the security of bringing him back in at this low fee? I can see how that works. I can see the positives in that, but effectively Alvaro Fernandez was available to Manchester United while we was having serious issues at left back. And obviously, we could have brought him back last January instead of sending him back out on loan to Benfica when we sent Sergio Reguilon back after the backup from the medical team saying that Malacia and Shaw would be available in that January window, and we didn't need to bring anybody in. That was Ten Hag's fault for trusting. Well, not his fault. His medical team let him down. You could say it was his fault for trusting in that medical team, but who else are you going to trust? Like, you put these players in the hands of the experts and you ask for their advice. And they let Erik Ten Hag down. Big time. Big time. And I feel like there was an opportunity there beforehand to bring Alvaro back in January, which we didn't take. And therefore now we're looking at this situation where we may have to pay a little bit more to bring him back again. But look, Benfica are masters at doing this. Benfica are brilliant at finding these young talented players and then selling them on at a profit. It is their model, isn't it? It's what they do. It's how they do business and how they survive in European football and fund their business as it is from a football side. Brilliant. You've seen the talent that's come out of Benfica. I mean, how many good players have come from there? How many have they developed through their own academies? There's plenty, isn't there? You only have to look recently, Enzo, you've got David Luiz who's come from there. Obviously, I think, was it... I think now we actually take Lindelof from Benfica, didn't we, as well? So, yeah, there's lots of players that develop at Benfica and come through. And Manchester United have sort of, and what they're saying, what Ten Hag is saying, have used their system to their own advantage. And he's claiming this is the best development and the best way that Alvaro Fernandez could have gone forward. So, right, he's happy. But I think the biggest thing to take from this is that it does look like Manchester United are giving serious consideration, going off what Ten Hag has said, to bringing Alvaro back in. And we're looking for a left-back. We've been looking for a left-back for a while. We know that it's been a major, major problem. It has been, like I said before, a plague on this defence and this starting line-up for years now, not having anybody to rely on. The only question is, and the only doubt is, like, should we have given him a chance back in the day, or should we have done what we have done? Are we right in what we've done? That's what you've got to look at. And I feel like we're in a position now where we've loaned him back, and so we've sold him, and we want to bring him back for a reasonable fee. And you've just got to look at that and say, it's not the end of the world. It's not. You never would have known if he came into the first team, I suppose. But then again, you could argue you never know. He might have made it if he was given the chance at United. But it's done, and Manchester United are in pole position to bring him back, and Ten Hag has talked about that yesterday. I'll get into more on that and more of your comments shortly as well, but Ten Hag did also say yesterday after the press conference, sort of the embargoed version of it, that we are now on the Manuel Ugarte. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. We are on the Manuel Ugarte situation in a miles better position right now. He did his recovery session when he came back to England from his international duty, and Ten Hag has confirmed that Manuel Ugarte is available for selection for the game tomorrow. So you've just got to look at that and go, right, okay, if we've got Mazraoui fit, if we've got Manuel Ugarte fit, and Ten Hag has said that both of these players are available for selection in the game tomorrow, in the game today, bonus, real bonus, because we've got no struggles at the back. Then you can play his back four. It's not his ideal back four. Obviously, we want a left back, but you can see Dalot on the left, Mazraoui on the right. I can see it being De Ligt and Martinez back in the middle again for United. Whether you think Evans should be in there, that's a debate. Yes, I can see why you would put Evans back in there, but you've got them options there now. You've got Manuel Ugarte to come in. You could easily play Casemiro in the 8, Bruno in the 8. You could put Eriksen in at 10. There's loads of options now. So the fact that we have got a few injury concerns with certain players have been completely blown out the water. Multiple options for United into this game. Plenty of players that are fit and rested and ready to go. No real issues anywhere, apart from the obvious that we've said. But I feel now United actually probably feel, if there was anything that was going to make me feel a little bit more confident going into the game today, it would probably be the fact that Manuel Ugarte is fit and Mazraoui is fit. Options there, and we're not like we was at some points last season, just sticking players here, there and everywhere, round pegs and square holes all over the place. Ugarte is key, and the noises that were coming out earlier in the week about United now ready to progress Manuel Ugarte and sort of integrate him into Manchester United's side and intensify that process now. I think this is going to be a big one today, whether he does that, because we need to start, if Ten Hag is going to save his job, he needs to start finding his first team. Now, obviously, I don't think he will. And moments like today are going to be the one that convince me whether he is or whether he isn't. Because if he doesn't play Manuel Ugarte today, when are you going to play him? We know that when the chips are down and you're going all defensive and you're just trying to hold out and get a solid result, he's not played him before. He needs to start getting him used to playing with this team. Because Ten Hag hasn't got that time. He's not got that time. Like we discussed last night, Ineos are definitely looking at other options behind the scenes and other managers. So Ten Hag, if he wants to make anything work for him, he needs to start using the players that were brought in the summer, utilising his squad properly, and playing players that play in that position, playing players in their strongest positions and helping them progress. Like Ugarte needs to be in the side today if he's available. He does. I think he needs to be in front of that front four, and we need to start making this our go-to back four and holding midfielder. This is where it needs to be. Casemiro just needs to be put aside and used sparingly now, I feel. Excuse me. And Ugarte being number one in that role. He just needs to play every single game. And that's what I think. I mean, that's the only sign I could say I would sort of cling on to a little bit of hope with, that Ten Hag could possibly start to get anything at all, and that's not a lot. Like, I'm saying anything out of this side. So really, when you look at it going into the game now with Mazraoui fit, Ugarte, it's all about what he does with his front line then, isn't it? It's like, how do you get the best and get goals? Because he said in his press conference yesterday, look, we now need to start scoring goals. Look, we needed to score goals from the start of the season, Eric, not just now. So really, we just need to look at that best lineup up front. I think he has to play Højlund. He's our leading goal scorer from last season. He has to play Højlund today for me. I think Bruno will play. I think it's inevitable, isn't it? Joshua Zirkzee will miss out again because Rashford will play because he's been fully rested. Garnacho obviously didn't travel. He's been training and fit and available. So 2 weeks off for Garnacho, 2 weeks off for Rashford. Obviously, Rasmus Højlund has been used sparingly as a substitute for Denmark, so he is fresh. The question is, does Eriksen fit into this side? And does that mean that Casemiro drops out? Is it going to be Ugarte and Eriksen and then Bruno in 10? Because that's, if you were asking me right now where he's going to go, I think he plays Eriksen and Bruno and Ugarte. but there's a slight chance that he may not risk Ugarte because of Casemiro being there fit and available, and Ugarte's slight knock and arriving back late like we discussed the other day. So, interesting one where he goes with it. But I think Ahmad will miss out. I think Xerxes will miss out. And then one of the big midfielders will miss out, whether it be Eriksen or Casemiro. Or maybe Ugarte again. I feel like he still doesn't know his best side. And I don't think we're going to see it today. I think he's going to be chopping and changing around with it again. Just some other reports coming out regarding what Ten Hag was saying yesterday. Some more quotes. At the moment, we can't match the standards Sir Alex Ferguson set, but still, we have won trophies. I wish I didn't open this quote. Remember 6 years before, this club didn't win any trophies, so we're coming back, we're returning, but yeah, I'm not going to read any more of that. It's just going to end up winding me up. He's going back down memory lane again and bringing back ridiculous moments in time in Manchester United to actually try and back himself again here by the look of it. But let's get into the comments. Let's see what you're all thinking regarding the team. And Alvaro, would you bring him back is the question. Let's have a quick check on the poll to gauge where the mood is. For some reason, Manchester United fans are looking very confident. Whether that's just because it's at Old Trafford or not, I'm not sure. But a United win is winning the poll at the moment. 46% of the vote is saying United win right now. 31% saying Brentford win. And the draw is 23%. So quite split, actually. Evenly spread out, I would say, in that poll so far. So, yeah, let's see how that is towards the end of the show. It's one of them, isn't it? You wake up on a Saturday morning, match day. 3 o'clock kickoff, brilliant. Yes, an actual normal match day kickoff. You're leading into the game, you're bullish. You start walking into the stadium, your mood starts to change. Then you see the kickoff, the starting lineup, and how United set off in the first 10 minutes, and you just completely deflate yourself. Look, I'm not expecting United to come out of the traps and blow us away. I'm not expecting any fantastic performance, which is going to convince me that we are moving forward. I just feel like it will be a solid workman-like performance from United today, and they need to just get the best result out of that sort of performance. Try not to give too many chances away, but you know what will happen? There'll be one point in the game when the crowd are singing attack, 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 and they'll want this team to go forward and try and get the win because we're at home, and we'll get caught. And that's the problem we've got. It's playing safe and making sure you're solid is fantastic in big games, but then when you need to go out there and get the win, which we need to do, and create chances, we are open. And I just don't think that Ten Hag has figured that side of things out right yet at the moment. It's one or the other. There is no in-between. And the in-between is where he needs to be for games like today. He needs to be able to control the game. He needs to be able to keep that shape to make sure that we don't give chances away. And obviously he needs to create because we're not scoring goals. You don't win without scoring. But the best form of defence always is attack. And that's why Sir Alex was so good. Stop thinking about the opposition and figure out what your best team is and work on that, is what I say. Let's get into some of the comments. Bear with me 1 second. Scrolling up. Player Mass, left back. He's better than Alvaro. Give him a chance. I don't know if he's better than Alvaro. He's not played yet, Rochelle. He's only played at youth level. I mean, Alvaro is tearing it up in Portugal right now in the Champions League as well. So I definitely wouldn't say that he's better than Alvaro, to be honest. So we are basically paying some clubs $6 million to give a player some experience. Yes, Michael, you could look at it that way in terms of what's happening with Fernandez. Benfica sees the talent, but Erik Ten Hag didn't, says Sunley. Could say that again. I hope all of us are ready to have our weekend ruined again. I know I'm not going there yet. It's match day. You know what I'm like. I'll do all of my talking through the week in between. The match day build-up is all about what United can do. Let's just keep it on that let's just keep it on that level, let's just say. And then we'll just deal with what happens after the game. I'm scared. Honestly, I am. I really don't know what is going to happen today, but it's up to the boys, isn't it? It's up to the team now. Can they... I say it every week, don't we? Can they turn it around? I doubt it, but hey, we're here to be surprised. He won't want to come back to us. Get real, man. He already says he would like to come back to us, so that is real. I feel we will scam a win. This manager knows to win knows how to win a one-off game. That for Michael again. Sean says, leave it to Adam to make an issue out of this. It's normal stuff. Real Madrid just bought back Fran and capped Spanish. Did I make an issue out of it, Sean? Leave it to Sean to find an issue with what I say. Should I say it that way? Oh, bless you, Sean. Don't worry about it too much, mate. But yeah, we could have brought him back, like I said, when we had the left-back issue. We didn't. And then we had the season we had last season. Do the facts and the stats not tell you everything rather than having a dig at me? Never mind. Not just Alvaro, but all of the ones that we have inserted buyback clauses on. No, this is Ineos's method in terms of transfers and how we're actually working. This is Ineos's way of conducting decent football business, I feel. I don't know if we're going to be bringing back the likes of Cambualoff, definitely not Mason Greenwood, but the sell-on clauses within their contracts are definitely where the business is being done by Ineos. I feel like we have secured decent money in both of them players if they do get sold on, and both are doing all right. Let's just say that. So it looks like good business on that side of things. City let Parma go. Chelsea let Salah and Kevin De Bruyne go. Every club does this stuff. Did they bring them back? No, that's what we're talking about. Stop having a go at it. Jesus. Should have kept him and started integrating when he came back from Preston. Only a fool would rely on Shaw's fitness. That's the point that we're trying to make. Why are we not looking at this? Play Casemiro and Agate and Mainu 8. Mainu is injured, Stephen, so we can't play Mainu. He's going to be out for about 7 games, according to reports last night, so we cannot play Mainu. To keep the ball and create chances, we need Ahmad to start today. That's interesting. I mean, let me know what you think about the starting lineup in terms of that front three. Maybe go with that. I think that's where Manchester United can win the game today. The right blend against this. You wouldn't say, they're not great away from home, but they know how to defend Brentford. So, are we expecting a low block? What's the best team to play when we've got a low block? I think that's the question. Because United have always struggled when we've come up against a low block. And then we've just switched off and that moment has come and we lose the game. I hope we stop that fullback inverting crap tactic. It just exposes our left side. And with Rashford on that left side, Michael, you are dead right. That's where we've conceded the majority of our goals this season. Had to give my ticket away for today as I have 2 shows to do today. A last day of performances, so we'll be watching for the score tentatively. Have a great day, Andrew. We'll be gutted that you're not there, mate. If we knew Shaw was injury prone, why doesn't he have the foresight to keep Alvaro in the squad, says Rafe. Very good point, my friend. And a great comment there, because that's what the situation is with this. Should we have not just kept Alvaro around and give him time? Integrated him in. Instead of, say for instance, loaning in Sergio Reguilon in the first place. Why not keep Alvaro Fernandez for them games? You sent him away to Granada and he didn't play much, like Ten Hags said. So then you brought him back. That was the moment. That's the one that I think. When we brought him back from Granada, why didn't we keep him last season? We brought him back in January, and this was the moment when we were discussing. And that's why it was quite important to bring up the miscommunication. Well, not miscommunication, but like Rafe says there, the foresight to actually look at Shaw, look at Malacia in detail, and make sure that you had cover there. You could have brought Alvaro in then. And you don't know. Like, how many players have Manchester United got in their side that just came in and hit the ground running? And it was just, some of the time it's through chance as well. Just through sheer lack of numbers. Like Marcus Rashford's the prime example. He was never supposed to be in that Manchester United side in that game in Europe against, was it Midtjylland? I think it was from Denmark, wasn't it? He was never supposed to play in that game. He wasn't even the next in line. I think it was Fletcher who was supposed to come through before Rashford. And he just came through by chance because he was the only one available and he never looked back. Some players just take that opportunity and go with it. And if you give him the right opportunity in the right game, then you may actually stumble upon something sometimes. It's just we just weren't giving the players the chance, I feel. And I think that's the problem with it. And it obviously gets highlighted even more by the sheer ineptitude of this football club in dealing with that left-back situation in January, when it could have been a lot simpler. We would have been not looking for a left-back this summer. We'd have already had one in, and maybe the season might have finished off a little bit better without the disruption we had at the back, if we had an actual left-back playing week in, week out. Look, we did it with Mainu. He came in. Mainu went through the same process as what Garnacho did. Like, came through, hit the ground running, stayed in the team, developed well. Mainu, again, last season, came straight in, the unknown, played well. You could have easily had that with Alvaro Fernandez. He was doing exactly the same thing. Player of the year in the under-21s. Young player of the year at Preston. There were all signs there building up to this. And then we loaned him back out again. And that's when we decided that it wasn't working. And we had to bring him back and then send him to Benfica. And now we have to pay a little bit more money. Look, I haven't got a problem with paying more money. It's not even an issue. I'm just thinking we could have actually utilised Alvaro sooner, is what I'm saying. Spot on, Adam never gave Alvaro a chance. Captain Bruno needs to show up this afternoon, Stephanie. Yes, never a true word said, 100%. Let's see what else we've got here in the chat. Almac says, Erik Ten Hag has a veto over every transfer. No one can be bought or sold without his approval. I think some people are winding people up in the chat. Emery Long says, you don't bring back players you have sold. That's bad business. You make the money from the sell on, Adam. I don't know. Is it bad business bringing him back at this stage? Look, if you bring Alvaro Fernandez back now, then he does well, his price goes up. Look, he's proved that he can actually play at the highest level. He's playing in the Champions League, getting man of the match in the Champions League. So if you're playing at that level and you're ready to come into this Manchester United side, let's not forget, we're a mid-table Premier League side at the moment. So really, if you're looking at it on a football side of things, he should be the type of player that comes straight into Manchester United. We're now all on Dalot because of Shaw unavailability, but it's not his fault, not entirely. No, Dalot is getting criticism, but again, I feel like the system has thrown Dalot under the bus a little bit, and it's not fair on him. I definitely agree with that comment. Ash says, Ten Hag blocked him to save face on Malacia. Tried to do it with Ahmad too, but his crap signings have been exposed. You could look at it that way. You could. Let's see. Erik Ten Hag, eye for talent is truly awful. As for Bruno, forget him. He's been terrible for the past 2 seasons. We missed the chance to sell him in the summer. We stupidly gave him a new contract for what? I get where you're going, Gehan. We've already covered that, and we're just now praying, aren't we, that Bruno Fernandes turns up. We are praying that he actually has one of them Bruno games where he does have a huge impact on the game itself. So really, right now, we're looking at another hopeful sort of outlook for a United game. We're just sat here and we don't know what's happening. It is the unknown. And yeah, you just don't know what Man United is going to turn up. There'll be more on this in the road trip video that's coming in, a bit more detail on the game and where I see it going and everything like that. That is coming up later on as well. I do have to add that this game today, I feel, is that big. We said this. I think we said it on the United Couple podcast. By the way, United Couple podcast is out now. Episode 24. Link is in the live chat. Everybody. God, where's my head at right now? So do go and click on that. Me and Kaz talking over everything. German managers at England. Kaz scores 5 goals. Better football than United. All there in United Couple podcast. Make sure you go and give that a watch. Twitch link right there in the description. There is a link in the live chat as well for Football Talks. The latest video came out later last night as well. The new channel, go and watch that as well. A football look with a difference. We're working on that as well. So, yeah, make sure you go and cover both of them. But, yeah, this game today is absolutely massive. I think we discussed it on the podcast about, is this bigger than the City game? Like, nearly every single game now is being built up to be the do-or-die game. It's pathetic, really. It's absolutely pathetic that we're having to go into every single United game now, one by one, week after week. This is the one. This is so important. This is a massive game. It's the same every single week, and it just seems to be all it does is just delay the inevitable of what's coming. Like a win today against Brentford is not going to convince anybody that United are turning a corner. If anything, and I'll say this now, and I'll be talking about this later, a win today is only going to please opposition fans because it means that Ten Hag stays. And nobody's scared of Ten Hag. That's what you have to look at. And that's what you have to take into consideration. When opposition fans are actually happy when United win because it means that we're keeping all the Ten Hag, that's when you've got to worry about what's actually going on with your football team. But yes, that is it. I'm off to go and watch Alfie's game, FC United under 18s now. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, mods in the chat, all the members as well in there. I will be back later on with the road trip and the build-up to the game. Unlike some people in the chat, we are not moaning. We are just doing the news, and then we'll start getting into the build-up to the game even more towards kickoff time. Just to end the poll there as well, the majority of you think that Manchester United are going to win today. Let's keep that momentum going into the game, and hopefully United can get the result today and we can start to turn things around. All we can do is pray and hope, but I will be back later on with the road trip. Cheers for watching, everybody. Have a fantastic day, and here we go again, match day.